Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. This is my post-market wrap-up. Yeah, post-market. Why am I stressing post-market? Because it is, and I want to talk about the garbage, nonsense, distractions, propaganda, frank dog shit that's being spewed out of the mouths, directly out of the mouths of our propaganda ministry. I'm talking about CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business, pretty much all of the mainstream business channels and shows and news. It's just an incredible situation, and we're going to talk about that. So yeah, it is my post-market wrap-up on this Thursday, as I said, December 30th, 2021. So here's the story. All day long, the propaganda ministry were praising today's jobs numbers. Oh, only another 200,000 people applied for first-time unemployment benefits last week. Only 1.7 million people continuing claims again for last week. And they're playing this up like it's the greatest thing in the world. As a matter of fact, all day long, the stock market was showing a little bit of strength. We had pretty much green across the board and nothing major. But again, the narrative from the propaganda ministry is, oh, stocks are higher on these strong jobs numbers. Well, how about we ended the day negative across the board? And what do you hear? Silence. Nothing, zero. It's all a lie, okay? The numbers suck, and they know the numbers suck. The economy sucks, and they know the economy sucks. But they have to sit here with their straight faces on and smile at you, whatever they got to do to try to convince you that what you are seeing is not real, people. It's very real, and you have no idea. Maybe you do. Maybe you do. If you follow this blog, how real this is going to get at one particular time. It's so far out of control at this point, people. I mean, it's literally, and I've been saying this for a while, every man and every woman for him or herself. Although we got to band together. How many times have I told you, you got to get together with like-minded people who can see through the dog shit? I don't know another way to put it, but it's the truth. Turn off the mainstream channels. Don't do like Greg Mannarino does. See, I listen to these things all day. And, you know, I have a little barf bag over here, and I got to vomit several times throughout the day. It's insane how they can pay people enough to lie. It's epic, but that's the way it is here. Anyway, so let's talk, you and me. I was writing some stuff down here. What I want to focus on here with this post-market wrap-up again is this. Despite what we are hearing, and this is the common theme for a while now, about the Fed taking away the punch bowl, about the Federal Reserve meaningfully raising rates moving forward to combat skyrocketing inflation, the Fed meaningfully tapering, that means slowing down asset purchases. It's all fake. Okay, let me explain this to you even more clearly, if I possibly can. What you can count on moving forward is the Federal Reserve to remain on their path of loose, easy money policy for as far as the eye can see, and then beyond that. Beyond that, inflation notwithstanding, they don't care. Look, how many of you have been with me, Greg Mannarino, for years, and I've told you the goal here of central banks was to do what? Exactly. You guys and girls are so smart. Inflate some more, and then inflate on top of that. That's it. That's all they're going to do. Okay, they have gone way out of their way to create this inflationary environment that we are in. They are deliberately in the process of killing, okay, the dollar right now, and they're robbing people blind. That's more news that we got today. So look, they're going to try to convince you again that what you are seeing is not real. So again, understanding that mechanism, you got to laugh at some of these headlines. Like, for example, earlier today, oh, yeah, stocks are higher on these really great jobs numbers. The numbers suck. They know it. And the stock market is finished negative. What are they going to say now? Oh, the stock market went lower on good jobs numbers. The numbers are abysmal. They couldn't be worse. And net, we're losing jobs every month. Our economy continues to contract at its fastest pace ever. I'm not just talking about the United States economy. The global economy as a percentage of GDP, I mean, it could not be cratering faster than it is. People, we are in the middle of a demographic shift. Extreme haves, extreme have-nots, a wipeout of the middle class on a global scale. This is a phenomenon that I warned would happen for many years ago. And here it is. It's right in our face. Yes, sometimes I scare myself, but the truth of the matter is none of this is hard to see. Anybody, and I know most of you that have been with me for years, a lot of you have been with me for years, you knew this was coming and you're sitting back and enjoying the shit show. That's really what you're doing here. Anyway, let's go back to the market real quick before I have some more stuff to talk about. So not only did the market end in negative, but we're just talking about, slight losses here. We have the yield curve looking good. 10-year yield 1.51. MMRI, low risk, doesn't mean no risk, but pointing towards low risk. $1 today that ended relatively flat. Crude oil close to $77 a barrel, going much higher. You all know that. Why would crude oil be going much higher? Is it really about supply and demand, or is it about $1 that keeps evaporating or losing purchasing power every single freaking day as the Fed runs its inflation creation machine? People, look, the big secret that I talk about all the time that you will never ever hear about from any of the propaganda ministry channels is the Fed continues to run its inflation creation machine by design. What is it doing, people? You know what it's doing. They're issuing debt through one door, buying it back through another. How many of you have seen me do this exact motion for years, explaining to you that this is extremely inflationary. It's designed to create inflation. Henceforth, we are here now, and none of this is by accident. Anyway, with that said, let's again focus on some other assets. Gold and silver did well today, despite the fact that they are the most rigged part of this market. Again, JP Morgan over and over gets caught rigging and spoofing the metals markets, and nothing ever happens. It's just, fine after fine. I mean, bribe after bribe. It's all it is. These are bribes, okay? They pay these dog shit fines, which are really not even slaps on the wrist. $60 million here, $90 million there. You gotta be kidding me. This is baked into the cake. When a super bank like that, JP Morgan, is spoofing the markets, they are making obscene amounts of cash doing that, rigging the market, spoofing the markets. And they know they're going to pay a fine. It's baked into it. Or a bribe, however you want to look at it. It's not going to stop until it does good. Let them play their game. We're going to play our game. We know the debt is a hyper bubble, and it's going to get a lot bigger, this debt hyper bubble, because, again, central banks around the world, they're not even close. They're not even close to done inflating. And they don't care at all about inflation, skyrocketing inflation, real wages cratering. We'll talk about that in a second, too. So you got to be in assets like physical gold and silver, regardless of the manipulation. In fact, laugh at the manipulation. Embrace it like I do. I don't care what they do. Because at one point, this is all going to flip around. And I'm talking about cryptocurrencies as well. I'm talking about crude oil, other commodities. They're going to skyrocket, people. Look, the environment of risk remains. I am not saying that this market isn't going to waver around a little bit. Is it possible that we get a correction in this market, 5, 10, 15%? Of course it is. That's normal. It's normal for a market to correct like that from time to time, but we don't even get that anymore. And people go crazy when we get a drop in the stock market of even 5%. They don't know what to do with themselves anymore, but we do. What do we do? What does Greg Mannarino and his Lions do when this market falls? Well, we're looking to buy dips here. We're going to continue to buy the dips as long as the dynamics that we follow every day remain in place. The yield curve, the 10-year yield, dollar or the relative value of the dollar, crude oil, the Mannarino market risk indicator, again, MMRI, link in the description of this video. There's no guessing here. You see, we don't guess. We are looking at the facts as they are presenting themselves. We are looking at the market as it is presenting itself. We're trading the market we have, anticipating what's coming down the pike, getting ourselves in all the right spots. You know all this, people. Anyway, let us move forward on some more economic news today. So we're finding out, and this is no surprise, this has been going on for a while. I warned it would happen, and now it's happening again. So food producers, they can't keep up, or so they say, with the rising cost of materials. So what are they doing? They're raising prices yet again, people, in response to booming, surging, skyrocketing inflation. And who's paying for it? You are. You are. Do you think for a moment that the upper management of any of these corporations are going to take the slightest pinch to their pocketbooks? How about no? You're going to pay for it. You're going to subsidize it. That's just the way it goes. Tough luck. Anyway, so what does this mean? Look, so the propaganda ministry is trying to convince you that people are earning more money. Oh, they're doing so fantastic. Meanwhile, what are they doing? People are burying themselves in credit card debt. We are seeing applications today for credit surge. Okay, and what else is happening? People are falling back in their payments. They can't afford the debt that they're taking on already, but they continue to borrow. So what I'm trying to say is, yes, it is possible that people are earning more money, but it's not even remotely keeping up with the surging pace of inflation with food producers and everything else. I told you this was going to happen. I said expect food and energy to continue to outpace everything with regard to inflation. Again, do you think that's by accident? Do you really think this is by accident? There's no way a single one of you out here believes this is by accident. Every freaking thing we're seeing, people, is by design. You all know that. It's so freaking sick. So anyway, look, what's the takeaway from today's video? Well, a lot, okay? But what I want you to understand, people, is when you're listening to, if you just happen to be unfortunate enough to be tuning into one of the propaganda ministries, I don't care who it is, CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business, pick one. The headlines, the bullshit, the distractions, it's absolutely insane. And you're hearing about how the Federal Reserve is gonna taper or whatever. No, the Federal Reserve is going to keep easy money flowing into this market beyond your wildest dreams. It's not going to stop, and inflation is going to continue to surge higher. I've been telling you for the longest time, you're going to continue to see this phenomenon. It's not done by a long shot, not even close. And again, the real inflation is going to occur, and I'm talking about beyond your wildest dreams, anyone's wildest dreams. And this is going to even pinch the wealthy, okay, to a certain degree, although the well-off and the wealthy are going to know how to position themselves moving forward, is when this entire thing does correct to a fair value. Again, the game remains risk on, meaning cash going into the stock market. How do we know that's going to happen? Look at the 10-year yield. Look at the yield curve. Look at the relative value of the dollar. Look at crude oil, the MMRI, okay? The geopolitical situation here, the lies that are being spread. When you hear a Fed official or the Fed chairperson talking about tapering, talking about raising rates, you know it's bullshit. You know it's a lie. Okay, they are public enemy number one. Do you believe that you're going to get any bit of truth out of this organization? They're criminals. They are criminals. The world is being run by a crime syndicate of the highest possible order. That is the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve, why? Because the US dollar remains the world reserve currency. It will stay that way unless there is a major war. Okay, and they spill blood and guts of innocent people all over the world like they always do. You understand? This whole thing, people, is so twisted and it's so sick. And I'm telling you right now, it really does get to me from time to time. So again, ignore the propaganda, the bullshit, the lies, the fake news, whatever it might be. You're not that stupid to fall for any of this stuff. You have some functioning brain cells. I know you do. Anyway, all right, look, that's it. I'm going to end this video now before I really do lose my freaking mind. Hold on a minute here. Yeah. So with that said, people, again, what am I going to ask you to do? Please share this video. I count on all of you to do that. All right, you will not find Greg Mannarino on a single, not one, social network. If you see Greg Mannarino or someone that looks like me posting a picture on a social network, it's not me. It's someone pretending to be me, all right? I got banned from Twitter. I got banned from LinkedIn. I banned myself from F-Book. And you can fill in the blanks here, F-Book. I will never post there again. I count on all of you to get my work out there. So anyway, with that said, I'm going to end this video, really before I do have some kind of freaking meltdown. I can feel my blood boiling. I'll see all of you in the morning, and well, that's it.